dear friends, it's Gwen and I'm back today with another scrapbooking process video. Today's share is episode 29 in the Maggie Holmes Monday series that I have been doing, and today I am going to be using a Sunny Days collection. I have quite a lot of this collection left and I have been meaning to scrapbook this photo of Caitlin for some time now. It's been kicking around the studio and today is the day. I do have a very specific plan for the layout and it will require tea because I'm using Distress Oxide. This is the colour Faded Jeans and I'm going to be adding some distress splatters for this one. Oh my gosh, who am I? I know I don't do this very often, but I did try this technique out on a layout that I did for Challenge Me, Challenge You. I'll leave a link to it here for you. I love how that layout turned out and I thought I would use this very similar technique on today's share. Now, I must have been feeling really brave this day because I have actually gone ahead and added my frame to the layout and my stitching. So normally I would probably do this on just a plain piece of white cardstock first, and then once it had dried and I was happy with it, then add it to my background. But yeah, clearly I didn't think this through because I'm all in and I've just gone for it. Now, because I'm not super confident, I am going slowly. I'm doing quite small taps of the paintbrush and building up the splatters slowly. I'm also rotating the background of the paper there, and that's so that the splatters don't all kind of splatter in the same direction. I want them sort of more random than that. And that's when I decided to stop right there. My photo is going to go along the left-hand side of the layout. And the marks that you may have seen right at the beginning of the video, they were to mark the position of these 3 frames. I really did want to have those guides there for me when I was adding the paint splatters. I didn't want to just be adding them randomly, not really sure where anything was going. I just feel far more confident having a plan and knowing where the embellishments are going to go on top of that mixed media. And I really love adding the frames and how it kind of makes it look a bit cleaner to have those sitting on top of the splatters. You'll notice too, the middle one, the center one there, I have backed that in the same pattern paper as the border for the layout, and that is also the same pattern paper that I'm using for my photo mat. I have mentioned it before on my channel. It's a really easy way to make a layout look cohesive. Just put a frame on the layout and mount your photo in the same pattern paper as the frame. Okay, so here is my other idea. I did have 2 large titles. One says fun, the other one says sun, and it just so happened that they fit quite well centered in those boxes. So I'm going to actually end up creating a bit of a grid design for this one. I love grid designs. I probably don't do enough of them actually because I find them quite easy to put together. Once you've got a bit of an idea of what kind of style grid you want to do, I find the actual making of them is quite quick. So here you can see the basic layout for the page, and it's at this point that I'm just going through and seeing if there's any other embellishments that are going to coordinate with my colors that I want to try and get on the layout. I'm going to work with larger pieces first to try and lock those into position, and then I'll round everything out with more medium-sized and smaller embellishments. But before I get too into that, I do want to lock down the position of this tag. This one has come from the pattern papers and I have just fussy cut that out. I'm also having a fresh look through the collection and seeing if there's any of the puffy stickers or die cut pieces that could work. I am pretty limited with space at this point. Like I couldn't be going and adding anything too large, but it's not filled out in the way that I'm happy with yet. And I do have a little bit of a problem. I'm realizing that I really need to pull a couple more colors from the photo into the layout. The layout at this point is that dark blue and it's pink. And there's this really lovely minty green that's in the photo that also happens to be in a couple of pieces in the collection. And I really want to pull that out. I want to draw on that. I feel like it will help the layout be a little bit more interesting, and it will have a little extra depth of color that I'm looking for. So while I have a think about all of that, I am going to lock into position some of the key elements that I can, including the photo. So that's going to be locked in right there. I also go ahead and lock in the title Fun and Sun, and I kind of laugh because I know that in the future I go to move them. It's a funny one because you know that I don't like to lock things into position until I'm really, really sure. And at this point, I thought I was really, really sure, but I do end up moving a couple of things around later in the layout. It's funny too because it's actually about this point that I decide that I don't like the color of the center part of that tag. I don't know why. It was fine right up until a point, and then I was like, no, it's not fine. I don't like that dark pink. There's no dark pink on the layout, and I don't even have dark pink in the rest of this collection. And then I set my mind to finding a way to cover it up. And that is where the great embellishment, shuffle, audition begins. Oh gosh, I had to cut so much footage out of this share because I auditioned all the things in all the places. I did find though this title that says Sun and Shine, perfect shade of green. The shell there, that is also the perfect shade of green, but I could not find somewhere for it, which was really frustrating if I'm honest. I really wanted 3 points of that green on the layout, 1 in the photo and then 2 on the actual page. And I just got it in my mind that it wouldn't be balanced if I didn't have it that way. In the meantime though, I did find a solution to cover up the hole in the tag, and that is going to be that shell chipboard piece. And here is my solution for the third touch of green. So this was a giant tag. It's probably meant for layering as a layering piece. I decided that I would just cut out the teeny tiny title. It says Collect Memories, and it is going to go right there above the word fun. And here's where I'm like, oh no, I have to unpick it. I actually glued it down. I'm so silly. So anyway, managed to scooch it down ever so slightly, and then that green, and then the bottom green, and then the green in the photo. My layout is balanced again. Whew. I can now go ahead and lock in this title piece, and I am going to work right to left because I wanted to align nicely with the right hand edge of the photo. They're just going with that grid design. I was going to add some stitching actually on this title, and then I thought it looked a little bit busy and I didn't want to add to that. You will see here in a moment too just how well the shell chipboard piece fits to the left there. I love how it sort of nestles in there, and it covers up that bright pink round part of the tag. What it also does, which I had not intended, is it gives the layout 3 points of that lovely soft pink, and it's the same pink that's in Caitlin's skirt in the photo. So I really love that. I've got 3 touches of pink, I've got 3 touches of green. Everything's just looking really nicely balanced now. Things are getting serious because I am gluing stuff down. I also found a cute little banner piece that says best day ever, and I don't know, I just felt like it was a really good anchor point. There is some dark patches in the photo towards the top of the layout, so I feel like it helps balance out that being at the bottom of the layout, and it's not too big, it's not too heavy, but it is a nice, a full stop. Let's call it a full stop for the page. It's at this point that I know that I have to add a liquid adhesive behind these alphas now that I'm not going to be stitching them. I have found that these particular ones, if you don't add a liquid glue to, they don't hold their stick for very long. So I will have to come back and do this at a later date if I don't just do it now. There is nothing more frustrating than looking through albums or boxes of layouts layouts and finding embellishments at the bottom of the little bag. Oh, especially, I don't know, for me, because I agonize so much over what's going to go where, if I find stuff that's fallen off, oh, it does my head in because I have to try and figure out where exactly I had it. The layout is almost finished at this point. I do notice though that pink circle that says let's go, it's the only dark pink on the layout. So I do switch that one out for another one of the blue butterflies. Thanks so much for being here, my creative friends. If you like the way that I scrapbook or the way that I chat about the way that I scrapbook, I would love it if you give this video a thumbs up. Be sure to check out the Maggie Holmes Monday playlist if you've missed any of the other episodes. There's so much inspiration there. And I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, bye!